Ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh, a little bit of wheel spin. Is that focused? That looks focused to me. Right now I'm currently at work, as you can probably see. I'm planning to do a video today, not today, tomorrow. Let's backtrack a little bit. I'm at work, right? I'm closing the shop right now. It's the end of the day. Tomorrow morning I'm going to Cyprus with my family. So I'm going there with my missus and my little boy Kai. You've seen Kai in previous videos before. I'm planning to hire a car. Nothing exciting, which you can probably tell from the title of the video. I'm planning to hire a Renault Clio, okay? So I'm currently on Europcar's website. My computer's down here, by the way. In fact, if I take a photo of the computer, you'll be able to see, sort of suss the scenery out. There's my beautiful scenery. Europcar's website and a camera up in the top left-hand corner there. So I am planning to rent a car. It's nothing exciting, I know, but who knows? I might end up doing a video on it. So if you're watching this video right now, this is a really odd thing for me to film. It means that I've done a video on the car that I've hired. If you're not watching this video now, it's because this video never actually went live and I just filmed this whole thing for no reason. So if you are watching it, that's a good thing, because I've got a video coming up for you right now, okay? And if you are sat here watching it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to end this scene now, and in 3 seconds I'm going to give you my intro, and after the intro we're going to get rolling with a video, okay? So hopefully that will make sense, but I'll stop talking now. I think you get the idea what's going on. Clio, Cyprus, Europcar, video, unplanned, no idea what's going to happen. Gonna count to 3 and get rolling with the intro, right? 1, 2, 3.
No gimmicks.
Oh my God!
Right, we are here at long last. You lot have been waiting here for ages for me. You know, you was actually here before I was. So it was a 4.5 hour flight, plus an hour of delays, basically waiting around. Don't know what happened there. There's a little bit of a queue of aeroplanes waiting to get on the runway at Luton. But 4.5 hour flight from Luton to Paphos. And we're here now, at long last. I then got the Kia. It was obviously meant to be a Renault Clio, but I'll go more into that in a bit. But I'm on holiday and I'm making a video. The plan was to just chill out for a week, but I've got my camera with me. I brought it with me to do some sort of holiday snaps. And I thought, I've got a car here, I've got a camera, why not do a video? The only thing I haven't got is like a suction mount for the car. I've usually got 5 or 6 cameras to film with. Today I've only got 1. But I do actually have my iPhone, so I don't know how this is going to work. But what I'll do is I'm going to dump all my stuff off, sort myself out, get settled, and then I'll do a video on the Kia. So going back to me being on holiday, right? So I am on holiday, I'm chilling out, blah blah blah, but I love making videos, I absolutely love making videos. So I'm sat here thinking, well, this is all good, chilling out and having a nice holiday, but you can't take me away from my I'm just drawn to wanting to make videos all the time. I'm sat here, my Mac's here as well, so I can do editing. I've got plenty of time on my hands. I can sit by the pool and do a bit of editing, so why not? Videos are cool. I've sort of generated this sort of love for making videos. You know, I absolutely love cars as well, so they go together hand in hand really well. The reason why I like videos is because you can pretty much do what you like in the video. So for example, you can, I don't know, if you want a hat on, you can have a hat on. If you want a hat off, you can just click your fingers and you've got no hat on. So you can literally just do silly things like that. Even location, you can just change location if you want. For example, now I'm sat in bed with an inflatable crocodile, and now I'm back on my hotel balcony. But let's go one better. Let's change countries. Right now I'm in Cyprus. Watch this. And now I'm in Ibiza, but with a slightly croaky voice. Late night last night. And now I'm back at work in England. And now I'm back in Cyprus, right, in a restaurant that overlooks the sea. Come and check this out. And then the next thing you know, you could be just walking down the beach. Hold on, where's my hat gone? Or just sat by the pool in a lift. Or sat on the beach at night listening to Peter Andre. And this is the thing with videos. The reason why I love making videos so much is because anything is possible. You can even be in the same room as yourself, right? Check this out. Ladies and gentlemen, here's your host for today's video. It's Calvin from Calvin's Car Diary. Hello everyone. Hello. Thank you. Hello. Good. And now I'm back on my balcony where it started. In fact, let's get rid of my glasses. That's better. No glasses, yeah? So you're probably here to watch a car video, and I have a car and I have a camera. I'm gonna sort out some camera equipment. I think the priority right now is finding a good location to film. So obviously being sat on a hotel balcony with a car down there, that's not ideal. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna set the scene a little bit. We'll go for something sort of a bit of sea in the background maybe, because we are by the coast. We want to be stood with the car as well. We can't be just, me here and the car over there. That's definitely not working. So I need to be next to the car with a bit of scenery and the car key in my hand. So we'll change the scenery in 3 seconds. You ready? You're probably getting sick of all this scenery changing thing, aren't you? We'll do it one last time. Ready? 3, 2, 1. So here we are in that sort of background that I talked about, with the sea in the background. We've got the car here, the keys in the ignition, and I'm sort of, I don't know where I am, I'm in the middle of nowhere. If you look around, there's hills and random stuff everywhere. There's no cars on this road, it's just like a road that's barely used. And as I came in, there was some funny signs, I must admit. They kind of scared me from coming in here. But I think I'm going to be okay, there's no one about. So there's the sea, there's the Kia, and as you already know, I mentioned earlier that I was meant to be getting a Renault Clio. For some reason they sort of talked me into upgrading to a Kia. He said, sorry, I haven't got a Clio, but on the good side, on the plus side, mate, we've got a Kia Rio. I think they're both as bad as each other personally, but quite happy to be stood here doing a video on this car regardless, whether it was this or the Clio. I'm not bothered, it's just a run around for the week. So what should we cover? We'll cover a couple of things. Let's talk about Cyprus first. Cyprus, it's a little island in the middle of nowhere. It's actually, if we travelled across the sea in that direction over there, we'd end up in Syria. I wouldn't want to end up in Syria personally, but it's over there somewhere. If we went over there in that direction, we'd end up sort of near Jerusalem. Obviously that's where Jesus was born. It's quite a cool place, very legendary. And north, which you can't see north, but somewhere over there beyond them pylons, and go for a good old journey across land and across water, you'll end up in Turkey. So that's a bit about Cyprus. Also, Cyprus is about 6 times larger than London, so it's not big at all. It's a lot smaller than the whole of the UK. It's a tiny little place. It's a very well-known place. It's a really nice place as well. Somewhere I'd highly recommend. And a pointless bit of information about Cyprus is you're just as much likely to get murdered in Cyprus as you are in the UK. I don't know why I want to tell you that, but I found that out online this morning. I thought that was quite interesting.
Oh.
So back to the Kia Rio, right? This car, I've driven it a little bit already. I suppose it serves a purpose. It's not very exciting. It's a 5-door in blue, and I hope this wind isn't killing us, by the way. Is it? I'll put the camera inside the car because I'm a bit worried that the wind is affecting us. It's a very low spec car. I've had a look locally at how much one of these can be bought for, and in England, right, you can buy the same car. I don't know what year it is. I should really check. I don't quite know how these number plates. Oh, do you know what? I've just discovered something. I'm guessing that means it's a March 2015, probably. Yeah. So we've got a March 2015 car. The ones I looked at online were earlier cars. One in England is about £5,000. A comparable car in Cyprus is €9,000. It's quite an expensive car in Cyprus. That converts to about £8,000. £3,000 more. The income here is lower than it is in England. So in fact, if you drive that and you live in Cyprus, you're doing quite well in life. That's considered a desirable car. Europcar, let's talk about them. Europcar, these guys here, they, what should I say? They're a little bit misleading. They're a bit of a nightmare to deal with, to be honest with you. So I booked a Renault Clio, and I actually wanted to do a video on a Renault Clio because I'd never drive one. I'll never have the opportunity to drive one, and given the choice any time of any day, I wouldn't drive a Renault Clio. So I thought, I'm going to do a bit of research on a Clio, and I'm going to do a video on one. I arrived and they talked me into taking a Kia Rio, which, okay, I'm quite happy about, but I've driven a few of these before and I'm not too excited about driving another one, to be honest with you. But that's fine, I sort of rolled with that. So the cost of hiring this car was about €200 for the week. But then when I arrived, they told me that I had to have a credit card to pay a €900 deposit, which was refundable, providing I didn't do any damage to the car. And I was like, okay, I don't have a credit card. So he goes, well, if you haven't got a credit card, you can't have the car. I was like, mate, I really want a car. He said, well, there is a way around this. And I thought, oh, here we go. The way around it was, believe it or not, I had to pay more money. And by this point, I thought, you know what, I just really want this car. So whatever I've got to pay, I just got to roll with it. I had to pay an extra so many euros a day. It worked out to €98 for the week of insurance to cover me for this charge that I couldn't pay because I didn't have a credit card. Some people in the world, or a lot of people in the world, don't have credit cards, so I think they need to kind of look for a different alternative there. That was a little bit annoying. So I paid the extra €98. They also wanted a €50 charge for a car seat for a kid, yeah, and that's actually a baby seat. My boy's not a baby, but again, not ideal. €50. I moaned about that, and they threw that in free of charge because I accepted the charge of €98 for the insurance waiver. Then the car came with a full tank of fuel, which was €59. Now, if you use the full tank of fuel, brilliant. You get the most out of your €59. But if you don't use it, if you bring it back with 3/4 of a tank, they don't care. You've spent €59 on a quarter of a tank of fuel. So that was a little bit annoying. So I'm going to drive it and use it as best as I can, make sure they get it back with next to no fuel in it. So that's Europcar. You're here to see a car review, ain't you, more than anything. You know a bit about Cyprus. You know you're just as likely to die in Cyprus as you are in England now, or get murdered. You also know that I should have had a Clio. I've actually got a Kia Rio now. And you also know that I've slightly been misled a little bit. I'm not moaning, but I've been misled a little bit by Europcar. But all in all, I'm actually quite happy with my car, so I'm not going to moan too much. So this Kia Rio, I'm going to go on the assumption that it's a 1.25 engine. The reason why I'm going on that assumption is because it's absolutely gutless. They do a 1.4 version, which is obviously a little bit bigger, and then later on down the line, I think they've done a 1 litre turbo. Let's go back inside again so we're not getting too much wind. They've done a 1 litre turbo. This car uses a lot of fuel. We've used quite a lot of fuel already, and I haven't done many miles. It seems to struggle a lot under power, and I don't know, it's just really dull and basic. It is a basic model as well. There isn't much going on in here at all. It is, you can see, it's not too exciting. Multifunctional steering wheel. Spec, what other spec have we got? This little lever here for your fuel.
The driver's window automatically goes down, so if you press it, it will automatically go down without you having to hold it. It's sort of like a bit of a Friday afternoon car though. They should have done that on all 4 windows. If you buy a later reg one, you will, or a higher spec one even, apparently you can get all 4 windows doing the auto thing. So I think that's a bit of a must, surely. What else have we got going on? We have aircon, and that is an absolute priority when you're in heats like today, because it's about, I don't know, early 30s, 31, 32 degrees. It's bloody hot out here. Going back to the video situation, I had no intentions of doing a video. I'm here in Cyprus on a family holiday, and I had no idea I was going to do a video, but I got here, and like I said before, I thought I really want to do a video. I can't just chill out all week. I want to make a video. I've got a car, I've got a camera, I've got a key for a car. Why not do a video? So what I had to do is I had to go out and I bought myself a suction mount from a shop up the road. They ripped me off of that. It says Pro Mounts. It's sort of done in the GoPro the GoPro font, a little bit misleading. It's not actually a GoPro mount at all, but it is a camera mount that'll do for what I want. I've also had to buy like an iPhone holder, because I thought, you know what, an iPhone camera can do as a secondary camera, so that'll do for the equipment for this video. Very what's the word I want to use? I'm just not organised for this video. Usually I've got a camera bag full of cameras, and I've got audio equipment, cameras everywhere, and I don't know, loads of mounts, and I'm good to go for a bloody good video. So hopefully this video turns out alright. What we'll do now is we'll jump in it and we'll go for a little drive around Cyprus, shall we? Just me, you, and the Kia Rio. Let's go. Right, so we are filming. Engine start. All the dials do that sweeping thing like a Mercedes or something high end. Not something you'd expect from a Kia. Let me have a bit of water first before I go anywhere. It's bloody hot here. So as you can see, it's a right hand drive car. Let's go back because we're on this horrible bit of road. Lots of stones everywhere. It is a right hand drive, and the reason for that is because in Cyprus they actually drive on the same side of the road as we do in England. So apparently England is the only place in the world that drives on the wrong side of the road. Well, that theory is wrong, because I'm currently in Cyprus and I'm driving on the exact same side of the road as we do in England. That's brilliant for me. The police are there. That's not good. You know, sometimes you see police in England, you think, shit, am I doing something wrong? Round here, you constantly think you're doing something wrong, and when you're down a road that you shouldn't be down and you're an Englishman, you definitely feel like you just, I don't know, you don't want to cross paths of any police. Let's do the window up, get the aircon on. Yeah, so that works for me anyway. Being in another country, in roads that I'm not too familiar with, works for me, driving on the same side of the road as we do in England. Cyprus is actually a really easy place to drive, not because they drive on the same side of the road as us. Well, that is actually a big factor. I'm wrong there. It is because they drive on the same side of the road as us, but also because it's dead. There's no cars on the road hardly at all, like to what we're used to back in England. If you drive, like I'm from Luton, if you drive through Luton on a busy day, it's bloody mayhem. You drive in Cyprus, it's chilled. Like you see now, there's no cars on the road, and that makes this whole experience a lot easier. One thing I would say is, if you are driving in Cyprus, look out for dodgy drivers, because there's plenty of them. I can't imagine Cyprus would ever make a very good, I don't know, rally team or a Formula 1 team, because it just doesn't seem like there's many good drivers around here. It seems a little bit like everyone's at each other, bibbing, stressing. It's a bit dodgy. There are white lines on the road. It's quite easy to drive, you know, it's very similar to England. I don't know what everyone's getting stressed about. I have seen a lot of cars on the side of the road that have just been in accidents. That's a little bit alarming. I don't know if people were out to sort of do cash for crash or crash for cash, however, which way you say it. But generally, it's an easy place to drive. They park funny, they don't give a I nearly swore, they don't care about the white lines, they don't keep within them, they're not bothered. Every car park is just like, just park wherever you want. For example, look at all these cars, not one of them is parked between two white lines. For me that's a bit odd, because I like to get parked perfectly everywhere I park, but for them it's just what they do. They also tend to drive straight into car parks rather than reversing. I don't know why they do that, they just do that. Reverse parking isn't that difficult, but that's just what they do. So just beware, if you're driving in Cyprus, look out for dodgy drivers. There's a few nice cars on the road. There's a Maserati there. It seems like there's more Japanese cars on the road than there is anything. Everywhere you go, you seem to see Japanese cars. Kia is also a common brand, which is from that sort of end of the planet. Kia is actually a South Korean brand, partly owned by Hyundai. It drives like a Suzuki. It feels like, I'm not joking, I was driving down the road earlier, going through the gears. This gearbox, I don't know, but I reckon this Bentley, that was a nice Bentley Continental GT in white. This gearbox feels like it's come out of something like a Suzuki Ignis or something. It drives exactly like a Suzuki. The exterior of this car is super modern, I like the look of it, but the interior is not quite the same, but that's generally just Japanese stuff. I drive a Nissan GTR, as a lot of you already know, and my GTR definitely lacks that sort of modern side on the interior. The outside looks great, looks super modern, but Japanese, they do lack on quality, should we say, on interiors. So expect that if you're about to buy one of these. This one is a 1.25 petrol engine, and I'm not joking, it is absolutely gutless. I put my foot down, it's awful. It drives like a 1 litre Corsa or something like that. It's got no power whatsoever, and it seems to be awful on fuel. The 1.25 is 87 brake horsepower. It does 0 to 60 in 12.7 seconds. So there's no power at any moment in the rev range. Third gear, 30 mile an hour, no power. Drop it down to second, we're up in the rev range, nothing. It's terrible, all right? So it's not good on fuel, well, it doesn't seem to be good on fuel, and it's got no power. I think they're not two things that go together in a car at all. Like that Mercedes-Benz Sprinter van there, that car, or that van even, that's probably quite good on fuel. But it's gutless, and that's kind of what you expect. You kind of add one or the other. You rarely get a car that gives you both. Terrible on fuel and terrible performance. Kia Rio 1.25 engine, that'll do that for you. We're currently driving by the coast. There's a speed bump there. Sorry if this camera number 2 just rocked a little bit. Lovely views for me. I'll show you some shots of that as well. There's the sea, lovely stuff. So back to the sort of car review side of things. There's another Maserati in front. I keep seeing Maseratis. The Kia Rio, do I think it's good value for money? You can get one for £5,000. I'm currently being overtaken by a BMW. There is a good few German cars here as well, by the way. Lots of Japanese cars, very dominated by Japanese cars, but then there's the odd BMW, there's another one, the odd German car. £5,000 can get you a Kia Rio in England, okay? A good one, low mileage, a late reg, sort of 12, 13, maybe later, from a main dealer, retail purchase. Do I think it's a good choice of car? It's a car that ticks a lot of boxes. It's got a lot going for it. I suppose it's practical. Definitely if I was buying one, I wouldn't go for the 1.25 engine. But it's a 5-door hatchback. If you was to buy a VW Golf with similar spec, it would probably cost you a good couple of grand more. How much is a 12-plate VW Golf in England with that mileage? Do you know what? A VW Golf would probably cost you near on double. If you wanted a 13 reg with low mileage, 30,000 miles, whatever, for you just wouldn't get one for £5,000. It would cost you near to £10,000. So I suppose in comparison, they're bloody fantastic value for money, and that is relevant. We're kind of heading towards like the town area of Limassol in Cyprus, which I don't really want to do. I want to go back out into like the country, and I suppose you can't really call it the country because you vision countryside as trees and greenery. It's not like that here. It's just rocks and mountains and dry stuff. But I think I'd rather that as a scenery for a video. So what we'll do is we'll turn around and we'll head back out there. And I think what I am going to do to test the performance of this car is I'm going to find somewhere to do a 0 to 60 test. So apparently it does 0 to 60 in about somewhere between 12 and 13 seconds. Let's just see what we can get out of it, yeah? Ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh, little bit of wheel spin. Oh, we hit the rev limiter about 6,000 revs. We're in kilometers on the dash, so we're looking for 100 kilometers. 3, 2, 1, there. That was not quick at all. I hope we beat the 13-second time that Kia say it does, but it's just got no guts in any part of the rev range. There's third gear. We're doing 70 kilometers, which is what, about 50 miles an hour, less than that I think, but it's just got no power. My GTR does a quarter of a mile in less than that, and in that quarter of a mile we're doing over 120 miles an hour. So in comparison, the 60 mile an hour thing, it's we can't compare it to a GTR, that's not fair, but let's just say in a nutshell it's a slow car. I'm going to turn around here, I'm going to head back towards the town, and I'm going to wrap the video up. I think to summarise, like with this car, my thoughts on this car is I have had a few digs at it, admittedly, despite the build quality lacking slightly on the interior. Like I said earlier, the outside looks beautiful. Kia themselves as a brand, they've come on leaps and bounds since the day they first started manufacturing cars, and in fact I'd also discovered that was in 1944, so they're a brand that have been going for a long time. They've had their ups and downs massively, but since the takeover from Hyundai, apparently Hyundai own about a third of Kia Motors. There's actually an old Kia Rio behind me, funny enough, so that's a pre-facelift or an older shape one. But Kia themselves, they've come on really far and they do build good cars, and every year the brand gets stronger, they build up a better following of customers, and they build better cars. As simple as that. They do build really good cars. So if you want something that's practical, reliable, ticks a lot of boxes, and you're not really like a person that's worried about a brand, as in you want a BMW or you want a VW, they're a really good choice of car. They're great value for money. They look good, they drive really well, but like I said, if I was you, or if I was buying one of these cars, personally I would go for a slightly bigger engine or a different engine option. Consider different engines. Test drive one before you take my word though, because this 1.25 engine, in my opinion, you might disagree if you drive one, it's just a little bit underpowered. Also, something to take note, the Kia 7-year warranty. That is something that's really helping them grow as a brand. Kia announced, I don't know how long ago, that they're going to start doing 7-year warranties, and that has encouraged so many people to buy a Kia. Providing you keep up with their maintenance guidelines, I think it's annually, probably is, every year, service your car and you don't let it go beyond something like 12,000 miles, they will guarantee or warrant your car for 7 years. That's bloody amazing. Providing, of course, you don't do over 100,000 miles as well. So from that point of view, if you're someone that's not really like massively into cars and you're not bothered about driving, like I said, a sort of a German brand, this is a bloody good choice of car, brilliant choice of car. So I'm going to park up now and end the video with some outside shots, back in the same place as we started. But thank you very, very much for watching. I do appreciate it massively. I know I keep saying it, but I do. I'm very grateful. And I will see ya, hopefully, providing I get a video done, next Sunday at 7, all right? Thank you.